On April 26, 1986, a seemingly ordinary experiment at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine, then part of the Soviet Union, turned into one of the greatest catastrophes in human history. The goal was simple: to see if the turbines could provide enough power during a blackout to keep safety systems running. But this innocent-looking test quickly turned into a nightmare because of a series of mistakes. On April 25th, during the day shift, workers started lowering the reactor's power. Due to the reactor's increased energy demand, the test was postponed and rescheduled for the night shift. The night crew wasn't very experienced with this type of test. Still, instead of stopping, they decided to keep going. After midnight, the reactor's power dropped far below where it should have been. At just 30 megawatts, the reactor became unstable. Xenon gas built up inside and blocked the nuclear reaction, making things even worse. Normally, the test should have been stopped right there. But instead of backing off, the operators pulled out most of the control rods to raise the power. That decision basically turned the reactor into a ticking time bomb. By 1:23 a.m., things were starting to spiral out of control. The operators pressed the emergency shutdown button. But the system had a deadly design flaw. The graphite tips on the control rods actually increased power for a few seconds before slowing things down. Those few seconds were enough to trigger the disaster. First, a huge explosion happened. Then a second one tore the reactor apart. The top of the plant was blown into the air. Tons of radioactive materials shot up into the sky. The night suddenly filled with fire, smoke, and invisible poison. According to official records, about 30 people died right away. But the real danger couldn't be seen. Radiation started spreading across Europe with the wind. 2 days later, alarms went off at a nuclear plant in Sweden. And that's how the world found out. The Soviet Union stayed quiet for a while, but the disaster couldn't be hidden anymore. Radioactive rain fell on farms, forests, and cities. Food was destroyed, milk was dumped, and kids were told to stay inside. People didn't really understand what was happening. They were just scared. Meanwhile, the city of Pripyat was evacuated in a hurry. About 50,000 people left their homes, thinking they'd be back in a few days. But that city never came back to life. Playgrounds, schools, and homes were left to decay. In the years that followed, hundreds of thousands of workers, called liquidators, were sent in to clean up. Many of them lost their health, and some even lost their lives. Even today, nobody knows the exact number of victims. Estimates range from thousands to tens of thousands. Chernobyl taught humanity a powerful lesson. No matter how advanced technology is, it can be deadly when mixed with carelessness. Mistakes made in one night can leave scars for generations.